got some 2XKO updates. We've got some Team of 3 Strive impressions, which we did check out, and some WB earnings call with some characters actually announced for Multiversus. Hey, what's going on? This is another episode of Double Tap, episode 394. We are here. Happy Veterans Day here in the States. And also, I am here with my co-host, Mezza. What's going on?
Hello, sir. What's going on? What's going on?
So, let's start off right now with some 2XKO updates that we got pretty much today. I believe there was announced that we were going to get some Jinx information, and we just got an article and some footage, but and a teaser with some more moves and updated information and actually a move list. What do you think about it? What does it look like to you?
Oh man, it's everything I've asked for. She's faster.
Word.
She's a better character. If that's what we're going straight into, we're going straight into that because she looks badass. I know with the Arcane show coming out, this is kind of what we talked about. They were gonna release her specifically. We were expecting maybe also Vi, but we know she's kind of already been put in the game, so they revamped her. She looks a lot better. She looks faster. She looks like she puts her traps down better. She kind of gets out of the way when she puts her traps down. She seems to have a lot more combo ability. She seems like a complete character now.
Yeah, I don't remember what she looked like prior to, other than she looked a little flat to me, but that was, again, early alpha, beta, whatever you want to call it. However, yeah, I remember her having like the gun before, but her kit looks totally revamped. I like the fact that she can sort of hit some different like items throughout, and just manipulate the screen more with more things. Also, did you notice there was like a counter? I don't know if that was something that was Universal added, but there was a counter she did on Ari at one point, and then just went straight into a launch. I think the extended special moves with some more animations was pretty cool, with the fireworks blasting, and even her super special move. I guess that's what it is.
Oh, that was parry. So she did parry at the right time, and that's what gave her the full combo. But what I do like is, well, just starting off, she has the Gatling gun, and it feels like the Gatling gun kind of reminds me a little bit of Gold Lewis, just a little bit. But it seems more of a tool, less than a whole lock you down. We'll wait to see, because we haven't seen everything with that. But it seems to launch as well, which she seems like she has a lot of moves that kind of put you into the air. And her chompers, it seems like they're way faster, because before they were slow. She couldn't dash out of them. She kind of put it down, and it would just kind of go away, and people just didn't feel threatened. So it feels like they're giving her, from the hammer to the guns, her rockets seem a lot more effective, because it seems like she's going to be very zoney. But I like her super. Her super is what I think actually kind of caught my eye the most, because she did the super in like when she was grounded while somebody was in the air, and it just sent them so high. And I was like, what happens if you tag or you double super? So many things, man. I don't know if she's gonna be able to combo off of herself, but it seems like her traps also kind of work in tandem with like ground and air, so she can kind of anti-air with it if she chooses not to anti-air with other stuff.
Yeah, your brain is looking more to the how can it affect my other main character.
Yeah.
Like, do I want her as my partner? You know, like, do I want my partner to even use her with, who do you main again?
Aryan,
right?
Aryan, and of course Ilaoi.
Okay.
One has to go Ilaoi.
Right. Oh, damn. All right. Excuse me. Character loyalist over here.
Yeah, Ari, dude. Ari Jinx. But I will say this. I think that they've worked on the animation for supers for her way better than everybody else's right now. So I wonder if they're going to revamp everybody else's as well, because it seems like the super animations are way more detailed for her compared to other people.
Okay. Well, I mean, could be, but I mean, most of them, the level 3s we did see before, did have cutscenes as well. I mean, you've got the little pearls with this guy, whatever. Oh my gosh, what's his name? Braum. And you've got Ari with her super special move and all of the above. I mean, Yasuo has a huge one. So I mean, they have their specials, and especially Echo with the counter super too.
Yeah, I just think those felt like they were more in game. This feels like it's more like Guilty Gear, right? When Guilty Gear goes into a full-on cutscene, and you're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sit here." Better yet, Grand Blue is a great example. Grand Blue, you get hit, you're like, "All right, let me go sit down, make some popcorn, get a soda." That's how I feel like they're kind of going in a little bit. And I do like that, and I hope they do that for like they revamp all the characters to kind of have like how Jinx's animation is. And I will say, yeah, the animations were good, but they were kind of like in-game animations. They weren't like cut scenes where it felt like I was watching a show almost when she would do.
So you're saying, well, what about Ilawi's underwater Kraken thing?
I guess, but it felt. I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't have the impact that this does. It feels like a full-on different, like we're going to a different scene.
Yeah,
that's not
maybe
even
because the sky is showing when you're in a different stage, so it can be seen kind of jarring. I got you, but still, I think that was a pretty good little sneak peek on her. We also did get a 2XKO November 2024 check-in, sort of like an article, just like or I guess you want to call it a backyard, like the Arxis ways. They just sort of, how do I say, touching base with what they learned from the Alpha Lab. One of the things I do like that they were looking at improving were the controls. I had an issue with the controls where I felt like there were too many buttons, and I just didn't know what was a good and proper layout, so to speak. So they said some of the things they're improving. We've heard that it can be hard to find a layout that works with our current inputs, and we want you to be comfortable with any of the supported controller when playing 2X. We're still committed to one button specials, but we're exploring changes. Sorry, I have something in the way, which is my light. Exploring changes to avoid overloading a single button. But yeah, so that's how I was feeling. Where, I felt like there were some parts where it wasn't even that it needed shortcuts. It just felt like there was too much button for my 6 button and for my hand to like stretch so far.
It's funny, I do agree with that, because I didn't even play hitbox on this, and I was going to, and I was like, nah, this is just too many buttons. I need something that isn't a button. But I just gotta state, for those who are listening in and are like, oh, they're gonna change and add directionals, they never said anything about directional D-padding or anything like that. They're strictly talking about like buttons and skills tied to buttons, which I think it can be a little bit much with all the skills that some people have, and you're hitting like 6, 7, like there's 2 different skill buttons. You're doing a bunch of different directions, not directionals. But I think that's something important to note, is how do you tone down having like maybe 6 or 8 different skills, because you want to try to show off the character as best you can. And I'm kind of afraid to say it. Yeah, I think they have to kind of just go with it. They have to just hope that people are willing to accept that, there is a system built around playing with easy commands. And I don't think they need to worry so much about that. But I mean, because the accessibility is there, I think, do you add directionals for the older generation? I mean, do I care for directional? I don't know. I'm mixed feelings about it. I think the game plays very well without. I think the mental for new players, it's easier to not have all those crazy D-pad directionals. But I think even for the older players, I know they say it's tough to get into, but I'm an older player. There's some of the older players I've gotten to play throughout, the last beta, and I felt like we were all just grooving. We didn't care about the directionals. We were like, it's weird, but we're getting used to it. And we got like instantly fast. I thought it got really good.
It was pretty self-explanatory after a while. Like, it's just, I don't know if it might not have been even execution, but it wasn't a problem. I mean, if you want to see some more of our impressions on the game, you can definitely check back on our one of our episodes that we covered it. It was the one right before the hiatus we took, I think in the end of September, around that time. Actually, no, end of August, my bad.
Yeah. So, something I do want to note from that article, you guys, this is a great article breakdown. I think they definitely captured everything that we talked about. Obviously, they're still going to answer more stuff that we were kind of either upset with or we did provide good feedback on. The decreasing of downtime, They said we recognize that losing control of your character for a long period of time, like when getting hit by a combo or while blocking, can feel pretty frustrating. We want to find a balance between allowing players to create powerful and creative offensive options and allowing folks to get back into action pretty quickly after making a mistake. I don't know what they have in stored. I don't think you can fix that. It's fighting games. You are either going to get oppressed with the stuff that they put in the game, which is insane already, and they've given quite a good amount of defensive options. And as we'll tell you from the playtest that they did, the little short playtest with the updates, it seems like they've realized push block should just be normalized. It shouldn't cost you meter. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that that's a little extreme, but I think that there are some options to get out of situations that can be improved. Like parry could be improved. We did talk about stuff like that. So decreasing downtime, I don't know if they're gonna decrease the downtime on how long somebody's tagged out for, because it was, I think I said it was 3 seconds for assist and downtime 6 seconds for depending on which type of what type of a skill you set up for your team, whether you're going to be doing like a hyper aggressive team or if you're going to just do the easy commands or whatnot. I think that's something they gotta work on, but I don't want it to be too fast to the point where we were experiencing earlier, and we'll get into that a little bit later when we were talking about, you know, the 3v3s for Guilty Gear. It's like the complete opposite. I feel like that's slower versus this being rather kind of fast. Actually, I feel like the life deficit is just different. So I think that them decreasing downtime, I'm not sure what they're going to focus on to do that. Maybe shorter combos that do solid damage. I don't want Guilty Gear. I mean, I like big damage, but I don't want insane damage for like 5-hit combos. So I still want, I hope they keep the creativity, which it seems like they're doing, but maybe lessen the damage from everybody, right? And make it so that you get more interactions, which I think people want it more.
If you watch on their Twitter, they did drop a small video that shows some gameplay. There is the save bar. I don't know if you saw, there was a save bar under the health. That's there, and I don't even remember what the previous UI sort of looked like.
I can actually tell you, it was it was a long green bar. You barely could see it, and it was for your teammate to pay attention to. It just wasn't. Your burst didn't feel like burst because it was like visually not there. And I think this is way better if it's freaking visually there. You could see it. It blinks. It's bright green, and it's kind of reminds me of where burst is for Guilty Gear. I know I'm referencing Guilty Gear a lot, but that is kind of where it feels like it's taken from. It feels like a Guilty Gear bar.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah, and I wanted to bring that up because that shows some of the more different sort of changes that we saw from the characters we did play, such as you already seen some differences with Ari and her movement and or fireballs and knockdowns. Yeah. Echo has some different uses. They showed off some of Jinx's assists as well, and Braun just going hammer, on Echo there as well. So if you manage to catch any changes, make sure you let us know as well.
Yeah.
Did you see anything?
The only thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat, outside of Ari, I'm not going to really like harp on that. She does have different routings, it seems, that they added. Maybe people found that before the end of the beta, but I think that's 100% a new routing. Never seen it where she does fireball into the other fireball that pops them up and then dash across, dash back. That's some Marvel 3S type stuff. I think I love that it feels like the game's faster. And we kind of talked about the game seeming a little slow, but this feels a lot faster. That's my main takeaway. I don't know if it's just super hella smooth because of the video, but it does feel like the movement in the game is actually moving a little bit faster. So I don't know how, and this might also fix a lot of those weird inputs that we were having where it felt like a delay when we try to do combos. So especially with Ari, so I wonder if they fixed that and made it smoother, because the game looks like it's way smoother. The combos look like they're more fluid and they don't look as stiff. So I'm kind of curious if that's what that was, because even Braum looks better.
So throughout the article, they talked about different, like some of the highlights from the Alpha Lab, like different events they saw people having. They appreciated all that. They also mentioned a few things that they learned, like we said, the two things of the decreasing downtime, improving controls, and creating more opportunities for team play. So like we've heard that the cool champion interactions, this is what they're saying, quote, we've heard that cool champion interactions are a highlight, whether you're playing solo or as a duo. We want to take those moments happen more often. I'm thinking more character interactions, maybe even in intros and things like that. Or if you pick two characters that don't get along and they, they're like, oh, we got to fight this time, something along those lines. And lastly, they say when you can play the game next. So they're looking into hosting. It says it says here, you'll get a chance to tell us what you think of all these changes during the next playtest, which we're aiming to host in spring 2025. So about when, let me see, is that the same time that Street Fighter's aiming to have Elena out? We'll see.
Oh boy, isn't that actually right around Evo Japan's time? Because Evo Japan's around like March, maybe. Right?
No, it's early May, and then you have Mark of the Wolves, or City of Wolves, coming out for April 24th.
It wouldn't surprise me if they tried to drop it around the same time, right before Evo Japan, going into or right after, only due to the fact that they would want people to experience it at Evo Japan as kind of like an exclusive. But if not, they would want people to give more feedback personally there. So I could see it being around that time clock. Maybe not earlier. People want it when they want it, but you got to remember they're selling a game here.
Yeah. So in the meantime, they asked for people to check in. They just wanted to check in before their holiday break, and that you can expect more information on next year's playtest, new features, and how to participate when we get back in 2025. And they also have the sign up for the playtest. So go ahead and look for their Twitter. Go ahead and check out the article and see if you can go ahead and sign up for the playtest if you haven't already. And yeah, maybe we'll get back into it in the spring. We'll look forward to that. And hey, maybe they'll even, on the meantime, I mean, they haven't said it here. This is just me talking. Hopefully they'll drop a new trailer for another character to add at least, because, we don't want to just have the same, 6 characters and then
Jinx.
One more. We're like, it's kind of,
I think the team is hard at work, and I hate saying it. This feels like a 2026 game. It doesn't feel like a 2025 game. Maybe that's for the best. They're taking their time. I think after Arcane's show is over, we're gonna see, or midway through, because like there is a 2-parter. So we've gotten the first part right now. Well, it's 3 parts, I believe. It's first part, second part, and then final part of the series. I think each drop we're gonna get a new character. So we might see, and this is no spoiler, he's in the trailer. I think we're gonna see one. We're gonna probably get Vi on the second drop or at the end of the first. And then either the second or third drop, we're going to see Warwick probably get put in the game. So, and I know it's a requested character by a lot of people. So this I could see happening, that people going like, oh, damn, we're getting Warwick. So I hope that's what we see.
Copy that. All right. So, that is 2XKO's update. Let us know what you think in all those different spots, Discord, YouTube, wherever. And we are going to head into a quick ad break. We'll be right back with some more updates into our team of 3 impressions for Guilty Gear Strive. 1 second. Okay, welcome back. I'm glad you've been able to keep your quarters in the machine for this long. But before moving on, we want to go into we did a poll on YouTube last week, and we asked you, and we got about 10 out of 10 votes here. We did, do you like the direction Guilty Gear Strive Season 4 is going? And 70%, with a full 70%, that is a winning vote here, says yes, feels more like a Guilty Gear game. We got 20% with the nah, Pot got nerfed, bad patch, and a 10% saying unsure, waiting for the end of the season. So somebody's waiting for Lucy, it seems. Sweet Lucy. All right. So that also leads us to our poll of the week. We wanted to ask you, from our recent topic that we just covered now, will you be maining, or are you looking forward to playing Jinx in the upcoming playtest? Will you be playing as Jinx, or are you going to continue with your main character, whether it be Yasuo, or if you are over here like Mezza playing Ilaoi? Oh, I'm sorry, Ari. I did that on purpose.
Same
My
name.
bad.
Same
name. All right, no problem. So so this past weekend we had the opportunity to, all three of us actually. Dre is not here. We did forget to introduce Dre, but obviously he's not here. If you already listened 15 minutes here, he's not here. But the three of us did get to actually play the team of three for Guilty Gear Strive. And well, Mezza, this was your first time actually playing. Dre and I actually did cover it before, and it was a bit of a dare I say, cluster of problems. I mean, the items were very rampant. That was the biggest problem, where we were just putting stuff on the floor and interrupting everybody's combos. And then there was a bit of a flow to it. I'd say this time around was a lot different. What was your experience playing this for the first time?
Okay, so for the first time, because I did miss out on the first 3v3, I thought it was a cool concept, okay? I've shit on Guilty Gear a lot in the past, but this was probably their coolest thing that they've added as an addition. My only not my problem. The thing I liked about it overall was it felt innovative, it felt new, it felt fresh. I haven't seen Guilty Gear do this since Asuka. Yeah. When you did the 2v2, you could switch back and forth different parts of the screen. Yeah, whatever. That game that I still think sucks. But this was a cool concept. Yes, I do think it sucks.
No, that's okay.
This game though, this mode, I don't even know if I want to call it a mode. It felt like a standalone game at this point, which I wouldn't even mind. It felt like I had fun, kind of like playing League or any other multiplayer game. The only thing was I felt like the health, and I'm pretty sure everybody kind of probably felt this way. It felt like getting into it beginner wise, it's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot. I don't feel like the menuing is as efficient to teach me. The tutorial's way annoyingly long.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just felt like a task to get to it. And finally when I was there, I was like, this is cool. Well, that was the end of the first game. When do I get to see the skills that I put into these bars? And then it really is an RPG. I'm just going to say it like it is. It's a goddamn RPG. You pick your character. Best believe you're probably leveling them up with whatever specific skills. But I didn't feel like I got to play a lot.
Yeah, the main character is the one who's playing the most. It definitely seems to me that there has to be a lot more planning involved. Like if you're gonna play Team of Three, you need to play with someone you are speaking with. You can't just play online. Like, you don't just go online. You have to pick your spot, like you do with any game. Let's say you're playing Overwatch and you want to pick DPS or attack or tank or even on healer. Like, if you're gonna play a healer, also, by the way, they did update this to have more of a focused, how do I say, what's that word? Like a loadout. You have a lot more loadouts in this. So you can be, it was like a Vanguard, a healer, Raider, supports. Yeah, so there was a lot more. Right. It almost feels like Final Fantasy 13. So that's weird enough.
This is what I'm saying. It felt like an RPG, which is cool. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot more focus on like what skills you would feel comfortable using, and not necessarily that. I mean, it's definitely a weird one because it's not enough time to use everything. Like you said, the health was just deteriorating, and even if your healer was in the back, I mean, what if they died before you get your first skill? Like, it was just not balanced to my liking, I guess.
I felt like when I was finally just using the skills, which here's the problem. If we're talking about balancing the style that they want to work, I didn't get to play every class, but when I did play Vanguard, at least, I felt like, as Dizzy, I was like, I'm never using skills. Dizzy just has a really good assist. But then I started playing Milia, and I was like, Milia has a really good assist. But I'm going to try these skills. And after I did 2 assists, I was like, I'm just not going to call any assist anymore. And I found that the only skills I didn't like were aggressive skills, such as Aura, which gives back health if somebody hits somebody and it drains their life and gives it to your teammate. And I was like, well, this is offensive, but this came up really fast. Oh, poison effect. The person hitting the main character that's hitting someone poisons the other character. I'm like, again, these two should not be the first skills that come up for the cost. And even with the healing cost, it's so minute that it's like, whatever. And then it's the cool part is when you find two teams that are fighting each other. Like when we fought the one team, we were just stalling and they were stalling. And the next thing you know, everybody's getting to use the skills. I feel like at the highest level of this RPG-esque 3v3, that's when you see people play differently. Skills are leveled up more. Maybe it goes faster. Maybe everybody gets more HP based off of how they built their characters or the Vanguard or whatnot. All I know is I felt like no matter what character was on the screen, they were getting deleted instantly. Yeah. So I didn't really feel like we got to play the game. We had to play a lot of matches in order to experience the game. But then even when we tried, the godforsaken rollback that comes with having 6 players at once is a little insane. I'm not sure how they can fix that. I said maybe they go a League of Legends route, and like I said, maybe it's better if they make it a standalone and they make it where it's built-in servers and everybody connects to the server instead of it being like, hey, connect to this. Like, I don't know if we're doing technically like rollback servers or whatever, but I think there needs to be some weird balancing that they have to figure out. I don't know if it was that bad when you guys first played 3v3s in the previous beta, but this feels like it felt almost unplayable out of all the matches we played. And then also me, you, and Dre couldn't even connect to each other.
Right, because he's out in Europe. I don't know what your connection was wrong with his, but but we still managed to I managed to play with both of you guys. There was a lot of connection issues when playing with someone. It either depended on like who was on your team and who was on the other team. If one person was off, it was all off.
Yeah. So, I think something interesting that could happen in the future is allow for this mode to be 3v3, 6 players, but also maybe allow for you to do 1v1s with it. I think that might be interesting too, because that might clear up that whole disbalancing thing. Or maybe 2 and 2, right? The second person is maybe using the 2 characters to assist. They could choose to tag one in and they control it, and then you could choose to tag one in and then you control it. Like, it's ever balancing. I know Dre said maybe we should get 3 life bars for each character. They have the guts from the characters. I don't know, but the time limit also felt really short at the same time. I don't know if you noticed that.
Well, I'm thinking maybe it's not supposed to be. Maybe it shouldn't be set up like the original game, or at least maybe like more KOF style, like, or Pokemon.
That's what I thought.
Eliminate. Like, you eliminate all 3, but they still have access to all the assists, and take out the switching mechanic altogether, because the switching is already really hard to do. Like, you ask to be switched in and your friend doesn't know how, or they're like, no, I got this, and they want to keep going and they're still getting their ass whooped. Like, it's really confusing. I don't know what this is for, honestly.
I would have liked them to put on the screen the actual, kind of like how Tekken does the easy modes where they show you all the buttons.
Right.
I would have liked. Say that again.
With the triggers, yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen people know how. Like, it's not everybody's gonna do the tutorial, man. Let's be real. They're gonna skip that, go play like they're playing Guilty Gear, get bopped, and then be like, I don't know why that happened. But I definitely think they should have implemented, like, on the screen, like, hit these 4 buttons to tag the teammate in. That's actually like, that would make more sense to me. I just put it to a button. That's what I did. I was like, tie it to a button. I could just tag it anytime I want. I see somebody wants to get in. I think that would have been a little bit more efficient, because people knew how to tag to get in. They didn't know how to tag to get out. And I don't like that people are also doing this like I'm not letting anybody in. I'm playing Guilty Gear by myself. Right. You're assisting me. So I don't know if there needs to be like some penalty that after a set amount of time, maybe it swaps you out if you are ignoring the tags, right? Instead of it just being like, oh, penalty for just not tagging anybody in, even if they didn't tag. I would like maybe if there's a penalty if somebody's done like, hey, I'm trying to tag in. You're not playing this matchup well. Do it like twice. And then it's like, well, beep beep, now you got it, like it automatically tags for them, right? Even if you're in middle combo. But overall I like the system. I like that you have 2 characters on the screen at once, sometimes 4, and they're all duking it out because you did a tag. I think there's a lot of promise in it. It just feels cheap.
Yeah, okay.
Like, and not cheap as in like the gameplay, just feels cheap as in like it was just kind of thrown together because they saw 2XKO and it was like, that's working. Can we make it work? And it's like, yeah, no. It's gonna take a little bit more work. I definitely am glad these are beta tests. I think they need to have more, and I think they need to keep improving on the connection. That's my biggest thing. Yeah. Improve on the connection, and then improve on maybe add 120 seconds to the time limit. More health,
bro. By 20 seconds, somebody's already melted.
Well, that's it's insane. 20 seconds in, I still can't use a skill. I counted. I even chose not to use an assistant. I was like, 20 seconds. I still can't use a skill. This is just silly. So, I want to. I think the skills are super cool. I just don't think it sucks that we don't get to really showcase it. And like I said, maybe it's when we level it up, it gets a little bit more efficient. Maybe you get more HP based off of the class that you play and whatnot.
Well, that is Team of 3. Again, that actually did end today. Whatever, I don't know if it was 16 o'clock our time, EST, but it does end today. So if you're already listening to this, it is GG for that. GG.
So
Strive
5 p.m?
Team of 3.
5 p.m. Yeah. You said 16 o'clock. So I was like, what the hell?
Hey, it said 16. I don't know. Military, sure.
1600, so take away 12.
Whatever 12 plus 3 is. So that's 3 p.m. our time. Yeah, so GG for that one. So that's Team of 3. Next, I saw that there was a tweet regarding Capcom Cup from Capcom Esports. They have a few more details about it. So we already know that it's happening in Japan, but Capcom Cup 12 already revealed to be held in spring of 2020. Oh, this is Capcom Cup 12, excuse me. To be held in 2026. Okay. Winner of Capcom Cup 11 will automatically qualify. So that's coming up is Capcom Cup 11. Winner of the SFL World Championship will automatically qualify all 4 players. Something I want to sort of talk about. I saw you commented on this tweet was from Dual Kevin this weekend. This is going to segue us right into Blink Respawn, by the way, which did happen this weekend in Dominican Republic. You saw that Dual Kevin tweeted out about his performance at all these tournaments, that he felt he didn't want to come off as salty, but he got second and or third at many events and still hasn't been able to qualify for Capcom Cup because he had to either win those events or again get second at a super premiere, which he hasn't been able to attend. And what does he have to go for it? Well, now he has to apply for the losers qualifier or the last chance qualifier, or go over to there is one more offline event, which is out in London. I forget the name of the event, but it is happening soon. Actually happening in December. I believe it's 12, 13, and 14. Let me see here. So with all that being said, I personally would think that there needs to be a new sort of format, not just for the winners of those tournaments. Again, it is you're competing to. I don't know if that's a really good way to see like the best in the world. Like it almost feels unachievable. I mean, again, you're putting it for just the best players, I guess, right? Like I don't know if I'm making any sense. Am I making any sense?
I kind of get what you're saying. It feels very not unattainable because it's very doable. We've seen Punk do it. We've seen Idom do it. We've seen a lot of people consistently make it in. but I mean, that's over the course of the past few years, right? So
Yeah.
I think that the problem is there's only so many places, places your sponsor is going to send you. And even when you're doing consistently well, you have to either win the tournament or place top 2. And maybe that's the numbers are going to be increased, right? So like for Blink, it had Blink Respawn, it had 160 players. That's still a lot because the competition is going to be really insanely high. I mean, kudos to Noah the Prodigy for winning and getting qualified, but even some of the previous tournaments were like top 2 qualify, right? So it's like
the super premieres only.
Yeah.
Everything else was just regular. Yeah.
So
just
it's
one.
almost like I can't really be mad about this, but I kind of understand the sentiment. It's like you work year round to not qualify, where someone could just pop up and just be like, whatever, dude, I won that super premiere that was over here. Kind of like when there was an event happening in one spot, and I do remember Minna. It was ECT. ECT was happening over here, and there was another event happening where Minna won it.
Puerto Rico, first attack. Yeah.
First attack was happening, and then Kaba was over here. It's almost like that split and divide, and conquer type thing. But Kaba didn't make it through. Now it's kind of like, well, what if I just stayed? Could I have just beaten Minna and just gotten through instead of getting maybe top 2 or winning that since it was a premier event, I believe. So
First attack wasn't any Capcom Cup at all.
No, he qualified.
No, he qualified from Dream City.
Oh, okay.
Which was in Detroit earlier in the year.
But that was a premier, right? So
yes.
So he did that. But it's like you just kind of think about it when you see all these events, they're all spread out. It's like, how do you get to every single one? The mental wear and tear. I think this is. I don't want to be biased. I definitely think a point system is kind of due this time around because there is so many good players. I think points do help. How they limit it, I don't know. I think Tekken does it very, very well. I think they should follow that suit. They have kind of like these big events,
and
that qualify.
Of course, there were gatekeepers before, but it wasn't to the point of like, well, if I think automatic qualifiers are fine, but keep the points for all of those that like Dual Kevin, who keeps trying at all these events. I mean, he's not going to stop trying. Like these players that have the capacity or ability to travel to the spots are not going to stop trying, So, I mean, it's good that each of these events have spots where it's an actual world tournament event, But again, this is in DR, so like all of this, we're seeing a lot of the same players go out to all these events. So like, the Prodigy went out there, Mena, RD, he's going to all these other places. So if they were maybe a bit more transparent and saying, hey, we want for just the regions to have an actual winner, and they've actually put in different places for each of those regions to have an actual winner. I mean, but we're already seeing that with the banning that we saw that Tekken had last week or a couple weeks ago, with different players. It's kind of a weird situation there, but like that's what also the online qualifiers are for. You're seeing winners from different regions as well. Slight correction, I don't think they've announced the location of the Capcom Cup 2012, but they did mention what year. I mean, of course, 2026 in the spring as well. We're gone.
I will say, I feel like this is that one point where we can't say like. I would like to say, okay, if you won a super premiere, you cannot attend another super premiere, right?
Right.
That I think is reasonable. And it's like, well, what about the premieres? Like, people are just gonna gatekeep. I do think a point system needs to be implemented to some degree.
Yeah, for those that didn't automatically qualify. Yeah,
and look, if we want to talk about anybody getting the shit into the stick, I'm not saying Kevin didn't get it the worst, but he didn't, okay? Because if you look at what happened to the Smash players at Blink Respawn, Zero kind of made that really.
Oh, you segueing?
Yeah, I'm doing it, dude. I'm sorry. I am not the biggest Smash advocate, but one thing is, I love competition and I love seeing players get their due. And the fact that Zero got to enter, and instead of them just saying you can't enter, You're banned or giving the ultimatum to the players to say, hey, if we allow him, this is not a sanctioned tournament anymore where you do not receive points. This is not qualify for anything. You're just playing for the money. Then that should have been between the TO and also the players, because if I would have flown out there, or anyone else I know, like imagine if you're in Europe and you're flying out to this event and you're like, this is the one big event I really want to go to. God knows why, but hey, maybe it's the one event you can afford because of the time frame, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get my points, I'm gonna try to qualify for whatever big Smash event there is. And then they're like, you get there and they're like, haha, yeah, you guess what? Doesn't matter anymore. No, not qualifier. No points to this. This is, you can't even stream top 8 as a person's banned. Like, and he made top 8. Do I think this was do I know if the community was cool with it? I don't. But realistically, I think this should have been something that Zero had an open conversation with that group of people who are going to get completely thwarted for this situation. So yeah, do I think that Kevin has it bad? Yeah, I think he has it bad, and I think a lot of other players do too that are trying to enter get to Capcom Cup. Then maybe they can have a point system, but at least you didn't have your points taken away for someone who was banned originally joining in and being allowed to play and then losing all the points for everybody else. If that was the quote unquote story. Now, I'm no journalist. I'm not out there like digging to find out, but from what it seems like, I would be pretty pissed as a player if any other players agreed to this, if this was the one event I could go to.
I mean, I spent about, how long were we playing Team of 3 yesterday?
About 2-3 hours, roughly.
Okay. I spent maybe, I don't know how long. I spent about, let's say maybe half hour to an hour looking for a stream for a Smash.
Yeah.
Because Street Fighter was delayed. They were delayed because Smash was happening. I saw somebody post, one of our listeners, I saw him post on Twitter that it was because of Smash. So I said, or Blaze was it? And I was like, huh, interesting. Let me go look for the stream so I can watch it and see what's up. Couldn't find a thing. I was looking at the updates on event hubs and I'm like, all right, so you have this event being run. It's not on stream, but nothing's being explained as to why. And I'm going to every single post that they have, like all their Twitter threads, going to the Start GG looking for it. I couldn't find a single thing, and I couldn't find a single tweet explaining what had happened. But there are a lot of upset players. One, that couldn't watch it. Two, people that were upset that, you know, that it even happened, that he was even able to be there. That's up to the TO's discretion, to be honest. But again, if it is a ranked event, and apparently I don't know what their ranking rules are, but if they already have rules against their rankings for him to not be there, I would think it would be more of a, well, he's not going to get any ranking. If he does win, then the next person will get into their ranks. I don't know. That's, like I said, I'm not the journalist here to find that, or we are obviously gaming or helping to find news stories and different things like that, but I'm not the lowest lane in this situation, especially when it comes down to Smash events. But again, there was really nothing else to sort of find when I was looking for all of that.
Yeah, and I will say this,
besides the R Kappa post.
Shout out to Captain Cito for winning that event and defending his territory. I don't want to take away from that. You deserve that. That is your win. Regardless whatever, you know, people say or feel about that event that happened, you won that. That is yours for Super Smash Bros. Bro, you got that. Like, I don't want you to think that anyone can sit here and say, oh, you know, 0. Who cares, dude? You won. That's amazing. You played against tons of players. If anything, they had some of the higher end numbers. So I think that's pretty cool to see too. At the same time,
yeah. I mean, there's the post of the Community Safety Resource Project has been made aware of this and has confirmed Zero's participation under Smurf Tag per our policies regarding banned players attending events that would count. Blink Respawn will no longer count as for any of our partnered rankings. Further than that, we don't know anything else. We'll see if there's any more sort of updates or anything that sort of happened, whether it's going to affect any other events. But I'm definitely You if you're flying out to DR saying, hey, you know what, this region is free, I heard, let me go out and play, and you're like, wait, it's been what? But I only came here for Smash. Like, I'm not here for any other game, and I wanted this to be streamed. Like, I wanted to see myself on stream, on stage. Like, that's preposterous, man. Hey, we'll see if there's any fallout from that. But speaking of fallout, let's not try to fall out during this second ad break that we've got coming up ahead. And on the other side of this, we'll get to the question of the week and also some WB Multiversus information. Stay tuned. And welcome back. You've made it to the final round. Get ready for Onslaught. No, I'm kidding. That's my enemy. I can't beat him. But we're here back with Mezza. Hello, Mezza. We wanted to ask you guys a question of the week in conjunction with the Capcom Cup. Was it Capcom Cup 11 and actually 11 and 12 announcements? How would you fix the Capcom Cup decision making when it comes to the premier events, or is it quite all right in the way that it is? You let us know in our question of the week. We will actually get some of your answers and read some of them out loud next week or next time, whenever the next time it is that we meet. Now, one of the last things we wanted to talk about was WB and Multiversus recently had some updates. I guess we can start with Raven's sort of Raven obviously in the game now, coming out soon, and so is, what was the other one? The guitar girl.
So Marcel.
Thank you. She's from Adventure Time, right?
Adventure Time.
There you go. Yeah, with Jake the dog and all of the above. But I just want to sort of gush a little bit about Raven, and one of my favorite Teen Titans characters, even though my favorite is honestly Robin. I wish Robin were in the game. Don't at me, okay? Leave me alone. What? Who's your favorite?
No, I actually like Raven a lot. I'm probably more of a Beast Boy fan, though.
Really? Was it the comic relief?
Yeah, plus he's actually really cool. He can transform into all the animals, The gorilla.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. And anyway, doesn't matter. But this is all Raven's time. Also voiced by Tara Strong. She's already got 3 characters in the game. That's wild. But yeah, she's looking quite honestly better than Injustice, maybe. She's moving around.
So messed up.
Yeah. Right. Obviously you got a game that has a lot of movement, which is super important, but she looks like she fits in the game pretty easily and pretty well. I mean, you've got the there's also costumes, by the way. Did you notice that? There's like 3 different costumes. So about halfway into the trailer. Go ahead. Yeah.
I think that the first thing is, yes, the voice acting phenomenal. The writing for her voice actor, they get it every time. I think it's really, really nicely done. I feel like she looks really, really detailed compared to most characters. Is that weird?
Yeah.
We had like the Joker, and outside of people's costumes, she just seems really detailed as a natural character. Compared to what we've had for the past few times, because we had like Joker, Agent Smith, Jason, kind of like not super detailed characters. They're like bulky or whatever. But even with her costumes, they look really detailed, kind of like all the other costumes that are that have been DLC. But her base costume looks really, really solid. I really like it. I think her moveset and the way she moves kind of fits this game really nicely. She doesn't feel floaty because of the style of character you think she would be. You'd think she'd be like floating and summoning, but no, she seems more of like an aggressive character that can kind of throw stuff out there. She can counter projectiles by grabbing, doing a counter with them and taking them and throwing them back at her opponent. But her moveset seems really solid. I don't think there's any character I've seen kind of like this at the moment.
Right. Yeah, I don't know which one she would fit in as, like what type of character, but yeah, she does have a look like a hype beam, I would call it. Oh, did you see she also threw out a Raven and then like sort of mixed with it to hit the opponent? That was pretty dope. All right, but that is Raven. Again, I actually like the second outfit that they showed. I think that's going to be the most popular. Yeah, that's pretty dope. And then the last one also looks like her father's outfit type deal. But that's the only one that has the hood up too. Yes.
I do want to say she does seem a little bit bigger of a character than I expected. But then again, I have to also match her up with Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is kind of small, so I guess. But she's like Batman type dude, so I don't really know what's going on here. So
you just want Tara Strong overload. You're gonna say you're gonna pick the Powerpuff Girls next.
No, but that's too much for me. That's too much power. It's too much.
Too much.
I'm playing Marcel though. I'm a big Marcel fan.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for her to come out too, because they only announced that that Raven's going to release on the 12th. So you guys will probably be listening to this and playing it at the same time. Raven is going to release tomorrow on the 12th for the new season, but they said Marcel's going to release too, but we haven't seen a video of Marcel, so she might release later into the season, I can imagine. But they didn't really talk about whether they were releasing her or not, because we didn't get a video. So I would imagine kind of how we got Joker and Agent Smith. We got them to like kind of what's the word where it's like not scattered, but it's like delayed almost. It's okay. We'll get the other character later.
Okay,
that's the best way.
Well, so we did want to go over. There was an article from IGN regarding the multiverses, and not just multiverses, but other games and their, the business calls and underperforming. So Warner Brothers admits Multiversus underperformed, contributing to another $100 million hit to revenue in its games business. Oof, it's a hefty ton of money. Free-to-play Smash Bros. Brawl style Multiversus has significantly underperformed. Publisher Warner Bros. Discovery has admitted, contributing to a further $100 million write-down for the company's game business in 2024. God, I don't know if it's just IGN's making of an article, or if it's hard to read, or if I'm just spazzing and it's late. But it says our team is excited to join the Warner Brothers Games family, and we feel that this will be a great Multiversus overall. We are working to make the Multiversus game experience the best that it can be, and having our development team integrated with the publisher is optimum for the players. And that was just the financial sort of. There's not too much more to go on about that, but there was another tweet that we did see from Q Quirky, I believe, which states that IGN left out some details about what Warner said in the article, and Digital Trends noted in their article, not sure whether these companies got the information or when their interview was made, but some of this makes it seem like Multiversus isn't going anywhere. So it says, despite the results, Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't seem to be letting up on Multiversus anytime soon. It falls into its focus on established IP, and the company also recently acquired developers Player First Games to work more closely on the fighting game. So it seems like, again, they are still working on the game. Obviously, this is a game that was in beta. A lot of people did play and or pay for different things. That wasn't actually a beta. And we do know that at EVO 2022 that they did have, was it 22 or 23? 23.
I believe.
23. I think it was last year.
What, when they had the big tournament?
Yes.
No, that was 22.
No, 22 because, okay, you're right. That was the first time back.
Because that was when DNF Duel first had it too. But we were on the side. We were side tournament.
Correct. So we do know that the game was out and it was being played and it was a tournament and all of the above, and then it took the super hiatus without warning, and now it's back and it's slower and it's a different game. So what if they're in the game is the player base is already has lost so much steam. I don't know if this game is going to get any bigger. Like, what's your take, man?
Look, I mean, you tell me you take an impairment of $100 million, and the hit is not just coming from Multiversus. I want to say it is, but it's not, right? They did the Quidditch game for Harry Potter that was free on PSN. It wasn't really promoted. I barely knew about it until I saw a streamer playing, and I was like, oh, that looks funny, and never got the free version of it. So no, I was not. No, I don't think anybody was dropping money for that. Mortal Kombat's taking quite a hit. I'm pretty sure it's gone down, and they said they were going to invest more time into those games. On top of this, do I think Multiversus is doing well? I think it's doing complete garbage. I don't know if it's going to get better. Oh man, it's such a hard tell because free-to-play games can always have good bounce backs with the right amount of content and right push, but I feel like the launch was just really bad. That was their biggest problem. So for them to keep throwing money into this, I don't want to say that they can't or they shouldn't. I think they're kind of stuck and have to, because they've allotted so many resources to making this free-to-play game that if they cut their ties now, and I've seen this with they had a few other previous games, such as like, well, a game that did really good was their Gotham Knights, which was it was the multiplayer free-to-play game that did really well, but that got discontinued after a few years of being played because it was like the TF, but like Overwatch / like DC. The Infinite Crisis, that was their League of Legends MOBA game that was in a MOBA arena that got discontinued. I don't know how far they're willing to go down the drain, but yeah, WB has the money for it. I'm not gonna say they don't, but this will probably be one of those like, we don't ever do this again if it fails even more. I don't know. I just don't know what the money is being used for outside of the people doing designs and creations and bringing in these voice actors, because something has to make the game pop. And I just think that you have Super Smash. Rivals of Aether 2 is doing phenomenal right now. I think the game is just buzzing and doing well.
Brawlhalla is still a very well played, popular game.
Like you could honestly go to Steam IDB and look, the game is cross-platform. That's the only thing I think that might be saving it from completely getting blown up. But Multiversus has a whopping 1,600 players in game current. That is not what we saw on release, on launch.
Right.
Quote unquote.
In the first launch.
Yeah, in the first launch. And the second launch was a little bit lower. And that was still kind of like, okay, we get that. Sometimes you're going to take that dip. The launch wasn't that great. But there are 1,600 people and a new character is coming out tomorrow. I would like to see what the numbers are tomorrow. Obviously, you guys aren't going to hear us talk about it until next week. But that's
season 4 is tomorrow. Right.
That's scary. You'd imagine it should be like 10, maybe 20,000 on Steam alone. Console, you're fighting with people playing other games that have been booming on like the source, just outside of fighting games. So it's like, how do you get somebody to go back and play a Smash game that isn't Super Smash? I gotta be honest, especially with Team Beast. I don't know, free or not, there's a lot of free games that are, just like Smash. Do we play them? No. So I wonder if they're just hoping to bank off a DC title. Scary.
Well, that's the thing. We see Realmcast and on Twitter also mentioned WB Games will be prioritizing Mortal Kombat, Batman, and Game of Thrones and Hogwarts Legacy for the future. This information was shared during their Q3 earnings call, with a shift in focus following the $300 million losses from Multiversus and Suicide Squad. Now, I mentioned...
I just want to state this one thing. Keep in mind, Rivals of Aether 2 just came out probably like a month ago or so, or two. And that has a current 4,100 players. Brawlhalla, the crossover secondary queen, we'll say, to Super Smash Brothers King crossovers of games, they have 8.5. I'm just going off of Steam alone, guys. DC has the crossover of crossover characters from anything they want of WB, and you're telling me Brawlhalla with Mega Man is getting the better deal out of everything? Something's not right. I don't know if it's the gameplay. Huh?
How much does Brawlhalla have? You didn't say the number.
8.5k players.
Oh, damn.
currently playing. So the game's been out a lot longer, yes, but my thing is, they got acquired by a different company. They start doing more. WB has already, Multiversus is already acquired. It just doesn't make sense. There's so much money being dumped.
Multiversus Multiversus and Suicide Squad had to be delayed. Both of them were delayed. Like Suicide Squad got delayed and it still didn't do well. That's crazy.
Just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's because it has the veil of being a Super Smash Brothers game, and they're trying to make it like slightly competitive. I think they should have just made it an RPG. Just make it so you team up with your friends, you run across like Streets of Rage, you beat stuff up, and then hey, occasionally you could play in a ranked mode if you want to or not against each other. That would be more suitable. I think they got to stop taking the normal approach for fighting games, the way everything else is, right? I think there's a lot that's been done. It's just I don't know what they're gonna do at 100 mil, or more into this game, or even 300 mil dispersed amongst all their games, including this one. But I think I kind of want to say it's dead in the water, and I hate saying that, but I think it is. Even with the players, promoting it like the cat and whatnot.
You're saying it's been footstooled and sent to the Shadow Realm. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I like some Smash games. I didn't play the newest of the Multiverses, but hey, listen, Raven's out tomorrow, and you can enjoy her. And it does look like we're gonna get some Marceline throughout the middle of the season. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. Hey, I did talk to my friend Papa Pun. He says he's top 100 bugs, so he's still playing at least the game a little bit more here and there.
It's free.
Yeah, it is also free.
That's the only thing keeping it alive. If it cost money, I don't know if everybody would have paid. I think they would have got their money's worth, and then we would have to see. Because DLC, clearly the costumes aren't paying enough.
You could also be playing Nickelodeon All-Stars Part 2.
Ooh. Yeah, some people bought that game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
Some people bought the first one and got their money back.
They said we have voice actors now. Took a second
Part
installment.
2 with new voices, yeah.
Could you imagine a Street Fighter game coming out like that? No voice actors. Hey guys, we dropped Street Fighter 5 with voices. Like 5 didn't have voices, 6 had voices. Like, worlds difference. I just don't. Again, I wish the best for Multiversus. I like the game. I think it's fun as hell to play. It has cool characters. Again, it feels like the continuation of what Smash is. The problem is the game has problems of its own. The last time we played it, I will give it a try. That Raven's out now. Will I enjoy it? I don't know. I just really don't. Yeah. And I don't know who else is going to enjoy it either. If I don't see those numbers rise, I'm just going to assume that it's only being saved through playing on consoles.
Yep. No, I see. I hear you and I agree. So I did, however, before we go, I did find a result to one of the answers from the question of the week last week. Who is in your Mount Rushmore of fighting game bosses? We did have that discussion, and I just wanted to touch base on Gingerfeld, who had the answer of basing mine off of first final bosses I really remember fighting is Gargos from KI Gold, Duragon C. Mikado, the bouncer.
Yeah, F that guy, man.
You have my copy over there at your house.
Yes.
Inferno and Soul Calibur 2, and Shao Kahn from the Mortal Kombat You Suck era. That's a pretty good list. What would be yours, Mezza? You didn't get to elaborate.
I would put Doro from Virtual Fighter. If you never fought that character, he is a combination of every character. You get hit, you die. That's all I'm going to say.
The blue thing? Like the wireframe?
No. This is when they made it all liquid in Virtual Fighter 5.
Okay.
F that character. I'm supposed to do all of them?
Just give me a Mount Rushmore. Go ahead. Your next 3.
Quickly. I would say Alpha 2 Bison, because that's that character. If you've never fought Alpha 2 Bison, Xism, yeah, you're just getting Psycho Crusher for all your life. My next one would be, it would have to be, what is it? Oh my god, it's slowly leaving me, and I'm trying to bring it back down. Bushido Blade 2.
Okay.
either of the last bosses. It's particularly the one with the white hair. I forgot his name, but oh my god, he just teleports every time you swing at him, and he keeps getting closer, and then you have to like make it. It's stupid. Dumbest character of all time. I think his name is like Gekido or something like that. Yeah, F that character.
Not me.
And my fourth one, I really don't have a fourth one.
There you go. Well, that is Mezza's Mount Rushmore of boss characters. And while we're on the topic, this is game over for us. It is time for us to go. Well, do want to thank you guys for listening and getting this far in Double Tap today. Again, this is episode 394. Thank you, Mezza, for hanging out with me and being the co-host of all co-hosts this evening. Where can we find you, sir?
Of course, you guys can find me at Mezza FGC, whether it be on Twitter, Twitch, all the good stuff. I'm usually streaming Dungeon Fighter Online stuff soon. Hopefully, I got officially confirmed for broadcasting or going to China, one or the other, for Dungeon Fighter Online. So you guys can tune in for that. I'll put the links out there so you guys can check that out.
Sounds about right. And also we have, hold on a second here. Myself is, of course, StaticGorilla. You can find me at StaticGorilla on X, Twitter, whatever that's called. And also on Twitch, where I will be... Did I say Twitch? I probably did. Doesn't matter. Where I'll be streaming usually Marvel on Fridays. Or if I'm in the mood, I'll probably stream some Street Fighter, which I did make Kimberly to master. You can go to our website, or this mashthosebuttons.com. And let me see here. Yep, mashthosebuttons.com, where you can go to our community tab and find our Discord. You just go to Double Tap and find us there. And you can also find our other shows there as well through the Mash Those Buttons website as well.
If you guys wanted the Discord, it's doubletap.gg/Discord.
But my name is Static. That is Mezza. And if there's anything else that I missed, anything else you want to say?
No.
Stay tuned, and we'll talk to you soon.